This week on The Wise Guys and I think Danielle mentioned this to me too. I had a chip on my shoulder. I was trying to prove to the world that I could do it since my dad died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my father died and I wanted to like fill a void and show that,
Like you said, you're trying to prove a point. You're locked in, you're drilled in, and it's not working at that moment. So it's just like, it's easy for this person, it's easy for this person. Mark's out here acting a fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these people think it's a game.
Right. And it's working for them. And my dad just told me to go to school, get my bachelor's, and then, hey, y'all, go back for your master's.
And somebody gives me instructions that if you play by this rule book, you'll be successful. And I play and I lose. I mean, what else can you feel but that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Kevin Anglade, and you are now tuning in to the Wise Guys podcast, brought to you by Flowered Concrete. Check it out. Yo, what's going on? This is your boy, Kevin Anglade.
And this is Mark Pruden.
And we're back for another week of the Wise Guys podcast. And once again, we're live.
Live and direct.
Yes. So, ladies and gents of the Wise community today, you are in for a treat, okay? You are in for a treat. Today's Wise Guys podcast recording is a very special episode, Mark, because one, we're in person. We don't get a chance to do this a lot.
Exactly.
And then also, this is episode 14, The Art of Hate, a.k.a. Plain Old Jealousy. Again, episode 14, The Art of Hate, Plain Old Jealousy.
Gotcha.
And it's weird because I only have two questions. I didn't really get a chance to come up with a lot of formal questions and have a lot of research done because we're gonna just talk like boys.
Oh yeah.
But the interesting thing, Mark, is that this will also be a live episode in which they're hearing this currently right now in real time.
Right.
And we're recording this, for the podcast, which will be pre-recorded and released in a couple of weeks. And they get a chance to ask us questions if they'd like to while we're doing the podcast.
That's perfect.
This is pretty cool, man. You're a marketing genius. Thank you for coming up with this.
I don't know how it happened, but it just comes together, man.
I love it. Mark, man, it's been a while since we last seen each other, man. How you doing, man? How's everything going?
Can't complain, man. Everything's great. Once again, we're in Brooklyn.
Yeah, we're in Brooklyn once again. A lot here today.
Definitely. A lot in store.
A lot in store for sure, man. A lot in store for sure. Again, the art of hate, right? Mm-hmm. So much things to talk about in regards to hate and in regards to the things that we deal with, as people. We got a whole bunch of haters, a whole bunch of things going on. Quick thing. How do you feel about the Wise Guys podcast? We're halfway through the first season. That's
beautiful.
Crazy.
I mean, the engagement is great. Just seeing the way everyone's communicating with each other, just stimulating conversation. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just good to be able to get our thoughts on wax. You know what I mean? Get that recorded. So
yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
Me too, man. I'm just so happy with where we're going, and we're building our community one person at a time, and I think they truly enjoy what we got going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. We I've kind of been going back and forth, but we're really gonna get into it now. So the art of hate, man. First segment of the day, man, is the inception of jealousy, bro. The inception of jealousy. Jealousy is a real thing.
Definitely.
Everybody goes through it. I've gone through it. I'll be honest. I've been jealous of a couple of friends. Right. I know there was a mishap where you thought I was really jealous of you, and I want to make that clear on air. That is not the case.
That's debatable.
That is not the case. I was not jealous of you. I want to make that quite clear.
No, not well. It depends on what you're thinking specifically about.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, man. We gave each other a lot of smoke that day.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much clear by now.
I was like, oh shit. I was like, we're really going back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Yeah. So he said that's debatable. I'll leave that there.
I mean, most things.
I know how I'll feel about it.
Yeah, of course.
In terms of I don't think I was lying to you, but maybe subconsciously I was. Who knows? But because I'll be honest with you. I haven't, excuse my language, I haven't given a shit about basketball since 2012 in that sense.
Yeah, me either.
So for
we
me,
weren't talking about basketball.
Right.
We're talking about the effect of, I don't know. That's the thing about social media. Like we said on the previous episode. You can perceive something as a certain way just by watching someone's life on social media. So you
Right.
may assume everything is great,
Yeah.
everything is perfect.
Yeah.
And if in your life everything is not great and everything is not perfect, envy develops.
Yeah.
So, I mean, jealousy, envy, I mean, you can use different words, but at that time, it is a fact that you weren't in the best of, like, when it comes to emotional states, you weren't in the best place.
That's a fact.
So
That's
seeing
a fact. I'm not gonna lie to that.
seeing
I'm not gonna lie about
someone lit, as they say, could trigger that emotion.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just straight up.
Yeah. I'm. Hey, shout out to all of y'all out
What's
there.
up? What's up?
Compton Teamster 396. 925 babe. Yo, shout out to everyone. Yo, Bert. Shout out.
Oh, Bert's
homie
on?
Bert. Yeah, Bert's on too. Apparently. Yo,
good,
shout out
Bert?
to all the homies. Everyone's on. Again, this is a really, really weird episode because we're going back and forth between the live feed and as well as recording this episode at a time. So again, the inception of jealousy. So I have just two questions to really talk about, to ask, and and to get us talking about today's podcast.
Gotcha.
And so. Wise community out there, since we are live, doing this episode live and direct in person for you all, as it is being pre-recorded as well. I don't consider myself to be pitching this question to just, Mark. I'm also pitching this question to the Wise community as well. Sounds about right?
Most definitely.
So the first question is, Mark, when it comes to friends / loved ones, what creates feelings of jealousy or hate?
Well, that's the thing. It's natural human emotion to compare, and that's why I like to bring up the subject of social media,
Right?
Because you don't look at someone doing something and not compare. Like if someone is in Hawaii, I'm gonna say, "Wow, Hawaii is beautiful." I'm on my couch.
Yeah.
It's just natural to compare things. So.
Yeah.
Jealousy is a natural emotion. Envy is a natural emotion. And people like us that are striving towards success, I mean, we're focused on the end game.
Yeah.
But there's always some distractions along the way.
Right.
That's
true.
I try to keep the blinders on. I think it's toxic to watch someone's life.
Right.
So I mute my social media feeds.
Yeah.
I have no reason to see what someone's doing today. Because I don't care.
Right.
It's just like, it's a waste of my time to be indulged in your life. And like, you're sharing your vacation photos. Like, am I supposed to enjoy that? I don't care about your vacation. So, I mean, and especially if you have people on your feed that don't share the same ideologies as you in regards to finance or just mindset.
Right.
You're basically filling your mind with negativity by seeing something that negates what you're trying to do.
Very true indeed.
So why have that on your feed?
Very true indeed. 100%. I agree with that.
So it's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
So Wise community, if any of you have questions about this, please feel free to answer. When it comes to friends / loved ones, what creates feelings of jealousy or hate? All right, man. I know me and you have gone back and forth about this and we've debated. But I'm gonna be honest, man. To kind of piggyback off what you said earlier, I remember when I was working at Queensboro. So, fresh out of college, just finished and wrapped up my bachelor's degree at Brooklyn College. And I think it was, December 2013, I want to say. But I didn't officially walk for commencement until May 2014. At that time, man, I felt on top of the world because those 6 months, I was like, all right, I'm currently working in the Brooklyn College Learning Center as a tutor.
Exactly.
And I know that I have 6 months to kind of like get my act together and find a job. It's December 2013. So of course I'll find a job, That's what I was thinking.
In theory.
In theory.
Yep.
Kept applying to jobs. Nothing came up. And so what ended up happening was I was like, all right, well, I'm going to just keep doing this tutoring thing, right? July, and I actually talk about this in the book, actually, in The Flower That Rose. July, August of 2014 hits, no job. So then I end up working at the U.S. Open.
Gotcha.
Man, one of the hardest experiences of my life, man, just having to stand up on my feet all damn day, man. That's the first, even though it's not really retail, that's the first time I got as close in terms of working in something as close as like retail or like vendorship or something of that sort, And it was a task, man. It was a lot. Getting up at 5 in the morning every day to be at the U.S. Open for 7 a.m. and then leaving at 5 p.m. By the time I got home and I went to sleep, I felt like I was waking up all over again within a few hours. Like, I felt like I slept for like an hour and I was back up on my feet again, man.
Right.
Imagine doing that 7 days straight for 3 weeks straight, bro.
Oh, yeah. I've been through it, man.
Oh, man. That's
7 days a week?
That's exhausting, man.
Yeah.
I was truly tired and burnt out.
Yep.
So I say all that to say, after that, I got I was so desperate for a job that I went on Facebook, and then I said, look, I'm looking for a job. I can write, I can type emails, I can file papers, there's so many different things I could do. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for a job. And I'll never forget that the head of my department, the chair of the department of the theater department at Queensboro, she contacted me and she said, hey, we're looking for a college assistant. What do you say? And I was like, sure, why not? I was like, I'll be here for like 5-6 months and whatever. Mind you, I had already done 2 internships in the publishing industry. Mm-hmm. I had a 3.5 college GPA, and I was doing pretty well. So I started working there, November of 2014. I'm 23 at the time, young kid, fresh into it. And I was like, all right, I'm only going to be here for 6 to 9 months, and then I'll find something better, and I'll move on, I was like, this is beneath me. I don't need to be here, That's what I was thinking. I felt entitled. Those 6, 7, 8, 9 months passed by, I'm still there. Now, enter 2015. I want to say maybe like March or April 2015. My good friend comes over. I'm not going to say this friend's name, but we had a long conversation about him at previous time. And he's like, great friend of mine. To this day, I still love him. He's a very close friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I know he's listened to a few episodes of the podcast, and I've never told him this, so he's about to find this out right now. All right, so I'm throwing myself on a little bit of fire, but he told me that his aunt was working on his resume. Because he had just graduated from Queens College himself. Okay. He said his aunt was working on his resume or whatnot and getting it together for him. Right. And he pretty much, was looking for a job as well. Okay. Next thing you know, I know he's working at UPS, and then after one day, he quits. And then his father just kind of blacked out on him, man. He's like, you had a job. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? And he didn't care. He just didn't want to do manual labor work like that. Right. One day he came over to my house, and he was like, Kevin, I have something to tell you. I'm like, what's up? And then he was like, I just got a job at BT. And I was like, whoa. I was like, yo, congratulations. That was like, great job, man. I'm so happy for you. I'm really proud. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, man. Yeah. I was happy for him. I really was. But I was like, how did he get that and I didn't?
That's envy, bro.
It's really envy. I'm not going to lie. 100% envy.
It was in your heart.
It was in my heart. I'm not going to lie about it. Because with you, I know you say it's debatable because you feel a certain type of way about it, whatever.
Well, we weren't talking about the job itself. It was more of you were angry with me just being lit at the time. Right. And that's envy. Well, you wanted to be lit.
I'm not going there with you. I'm not going there with you. I'm not going there with you. You could have your thoughts. I'm not going there with you. Whatever. But you could have your thoughts about that.
You can't hate a brother for no reason.
That
makes you a hater.
I'm not going down that path with you, man. I'm not going down that path with you.
That makes you a hater.
Whatever.
Man.
I ain't going down that path with you.
Your girl said it. She said you a hater.
I'm not going down that path with you.
Hey, you know.
I'm not going down that path with you. But I will say this. I was very envious and jealous of this friend.
That's ugly.
100%. Hey, man. It's the truth. Yeah. Am I going to lie about it or am I going to tell the truth?
It's real.
I went to work. I think I saw him that Saturday night. I went to bed furious, livid, because I said, how the hell did this guy get a job when he's not even doing anything to advance or better himself? Yes, I thought that. Yeah. And I went to work Monday, packed up on that Q30, bouncing around, moving in between people, saying, why am I here? And I'm the one who did all the work. Right. And this guy barely got out of college and barely studied. And here he is living his life.
Makes sense. How you doing? How are you?
So I'm just like, what's going on here?
Right.
I couldn't believe it, man. I really felt some type of way about that. And I knew that I was jealous and I knew that I was envious. But at that point in time, all I could do to myself is admit it and say, yes, Kevin, you are envious. This is a part of life. People get jealous sometimes. And you feel as if you've been working so hard and you deserve it. And I felt that way, man. I'm not going to lie about it because I had been promised a dream my whole entire life from my parents. Just go to school, work hard, you'll get a job immediately. And when I saw that didn't happen, and here's someone who didn't really put in the work to get the job because his friend actually knew a friend who got him the job, right. I was like, wow, what the?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing, man. Life isn't fair. So if you see someone winning, you just got to acknowledge that your time is coming, or it may not. Right. Not everybody's going to win, but there is other variables in place.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Can I blame that on my age though? Because I'm 29 now. At the time, I was 23 years old. Is that an immature mindset to be jealous or envious of a friend because of they getting something that you might have thought that you deserved or you worked hard for? Because I was actually applying to BT and a bunch of types of media jobs at the time.
Yeah, one could say it's immature. I mean, but we've got 60-year-old immature people. You know, so it's like you said. I mean, it's just we just grow up and we move on and I don't know. I guess it's tough. It's down to the individual because if you got people that die immature.
Yeah.
So if you grew from that, it's just an evolution.
It's true. Man, we talked about this on the pilot episode of the Wise Guys podcast. You mentioned it in regards to pilot episode as well as the official first episode about people revealing too much on social media,
right?
Which feeds or perpetuates or upstarts the jealousy, the envy that people may have, and people believing certain things to be true. Like they just perceive it as fact.
Yeah.
Just seeing that, oh man, this person's taking vacations. They're on all these fly trips, or like this house party is so lit. You need to be here, but guess what? You're not here. You know, and people feeling some type of way about that.
It's true.
I don't know if you heard about this, so this might be brand new news to you because it was brand new news to me when my sister talked to me. Sent me the information about it on IG the other day. He's actually from here. He's actually from Brooklyn, from Canarsie, Brooklyn.
Right.
The 20-year-old rapper, God rest his soul, Pop Smoke, just passed.
Oh, wow.
Did you hear about that?
I heard about that, yeah.
And he was from Brooklyn, and he was doing this thing. My sister said that he had a song called Welcome to the Party, and it was blowing up since last summer, and he was constantly on the rise. A whole bunch of guys in the industry such as 50 Cent, Meek Mill, he had a whole solid wave behind him. A lot of guys were really supporting him.
Yeah.
And apparently the story is that he was at his house and then he got a delivery. I don't know what the delivery, these rappers, chains, jewelry, whatever, some kind of custom delivery. And he was on his live promoting yo, look what I got, look what came through, whatever. Guys, if you know anything about Pop Smoke, and I am absolutely wrong about this, please correct me. But I read this report online, and I also had a coworker say this to me, so this might be confirmation, it might not, but please let me know. And so he said, this coworker said that that's what was happening, and then he forgot to erase and delete the address that was in the box.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, so apparently whatever the package was, his whole entire address of where he lived at in Hollywood Hills was on there. So they made...
Oh, I think I seen a meme like that on, not a meme, but a picture showing something like that.
Yeah, it might have been that. And so later that night, the assassins, because they didn't take anything from the house, surprisingly, they came in there and they murdered him in cold blood, man.
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
That's crazy to me. It's mind-boggling.
Yes,
How does something
rest in peace to that brother?
Yeah,
man.
He was only 20 years old. A baby, man.
Hasn't
even lived life.
Wow.
How does that connect back into us showing too much of ourselves on social media or talking too much about what we're doing and not just living instead, and that connecting to the art of hate and jealousy?
Yeah,
you talk about it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to speak on that situation because
it's a very sensitive topic, but I just bring up that to say what a time in which people may be setting themselves up to get hurt, or maybe setting themselves up to find themselves in a situation they wouldn't want to find themselves in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mom always tells me, if you have something great planned for your life, or you have something great planned for yourself that you're currently chefing up, don't tell anybody about it. Do it, achieve it, and then let the whole world see.
Yeah, there's just a lot of jealousy and there's a lot of people with, ill intentions.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy that you just don't know who's watching your pages and stuff like that. And for someone to target someone through social media and attack them like that, man, it's horrible, man.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Why are we so envious and jealous of what other people have? And not even just that. It seems, and someone mentioned this the other day on social media, that when it comes to entertainers, you don't hear anything about regular, I'm just going to come out and say it, white consumers, white folk, if I don't know if they would do this, but if a if a white rock star musician, you know, accidentally posted his address on social media, whatever, you don't hear anything about their mansion getting run into and shot up in the middle of the night. Why does this always happen to black people or black folks, man? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I heard someone say before that a lot of people may be jealous because they came from the same place as you, but you know, you came up and they didn't. So,
right.
But it's really hard to say, man. You know, it can be a jungle sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's a cold world. You know, just the way what the lengths that people will go to prove a point or to, you know, just to hurt you in any way just because of the success.
Right.
So it's a tough one, man.
Yeah, man. I totally agree. What are some do you think there are ways moving forward in which like we can combat jealousy? Like I feel as if if a lot of people were out there living their purpose and following their dreams and their goals and their destinies, we wouldn't have like this crab in a barrel mentality where everyone's trying to pull each other down. What do you think?
I don't know, because it's not all about hard work. There's a significant amount of luck involved too. Mm-hmm. Because we can all bring up a situation where we ran into this person or we bumped into a connection that may have propelled us into success. You know, many people have stories like that.
That's very true.
So there is luck involved, you know. Yeah. Oh, someone just happened to stumble upon your SoundCloud and they love the music, mm-hmm. you know. What are the chances of that?
That's very true.
So, you seen Diddy come out of a hotel, so you gave him your USB. I mean, these things are just, it's. I mean, granted, hard work is needed,
right? But
there's a significant amount of luck involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even with investing, because there's no investment that's guaranteed. You can research as much as you want and still lose all of your money.
Yeah.
So there was a significant amount of luck. I mean, put it this way: when you were in high school, if I would have said, "What computer company do you put your money on?" you would have most likely said Dell is the best computer out there.
Absolutely, Dell was hot back then.
Now what is Dell?
I don't even know.
I mean, if someone said, bet, you know, I'll give you $1 million to put into the best computer company that you feel will, you know, be on top in 10 years. Mm-hmm. You put your money on Dell, you lost everything. Yeah. I mean, not to say you lost everything, but compared to Apple, you would have had billions.
Right.
You know, so it's just like you can't predict the future. Mm-hmm. And you're not always in control. I mean, granted, we can control our financial habits, we can control our behaviors, but you can't control the outcome of things like investments, you know, on you know, just those certain things that just happen by chance. Yeah. Not by chance, but you know what I mean? Like there's a probability that it won't work out. Yeah. So it's interesting.
That's very interesting, man. Absolutely, 100%. Oh man, we talked about this before, man, and I definitely got to bring it up again. Remember when we last spoke with each other, a little bit face to face, but also through text over the holidays during Christmas, and I sent you the message about my cousin, and my cousin, not to put his name out there, but my cousin, and basically he was like, "Yo, I've been sending you all of these conspiracy videos and all of these things, and you're not responding to them, and like." You know, I guess it's true what they say. You know, the higher up you go in education as a black man and you get educated, you become more sheep or something like that. I'm kind of paraphrasing to a certain degree, but after he messaged me, I was like, whoa, where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? I was like, we've never been on that plane or plateau of tension before in my life. Right. And I just pretty much said to him, I was like, look, I love you. You know, I love you like a brother, but I'll be praying for you, man. I don't know what else to really say to you. Like, you know, if you feel that way, you know, good luck. And then he was like, yeah, I see that we're definitely not on the same path, brother. Peace. And that was it. And I was like, this is a guy who, you know, got me into reading. He bought me my first Harry Potter book, you know, when I was like 10, 11 years old. Got me into some really dope hip hop growing up and, you know, pushed social consciousness to me. Right. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's like, just because you're sending me a whole bunch of videos and things like that, you know, like, and I'm not, you know, like finding time for it because I'm working, I'm busy, I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Right. Now you're upset with me and you just blast me for being an educated brother and all this other stuff. Not saying that matters, but I was like, is that hate? Is that jealousy? Is that envy? I was like, what is that?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, it could mean many things. sometimes it can tie to that. Because if we look at it like this, when you first meet someone or when, your family knows you as a certain person.
Yeah.
But once you ascend or you change, not everyone may not like the new Kevin or the new version of you. So, you're going to get some backlash because when someone is used to a certain personality and then you evolve, it's going to be an adjustment period. And if they can't adjust, there's going to be a problem. Just like we said last episode about the friends thing. I mean, if you have a group of friends when you're young, everybody's cool, everybody gets along because we all do the same stuff. But once you start to evolve, we're not as compatible anymore.
Right.
So, it can be debated if it was jealousy, hate, anger, just resentment, or you just had a hard time adjusting. But that might tie right into those things, So it's a tough one. Some people can't deal with the new version,
Are you currently experiencing any of that yourself in terms of, you don't have to share or you could share another story about someone else you might know going through it, but have you experienced along on your journey, Mark, over the past 4 to 5 years of this evolution of who you are now and who you are still becoming? Have you experienced close friends or family just kind of saying, yo, who are you? Who is this new Mark Pruden guy? I don't know who he is.
Oh, no.
No, not at all?
No, no, because, I can't say why, but no, no one's ever done that.
Well, that's a good thing, brother.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to not have to worry about.
Well, I feel like you're much closer with your family members. I'm talking about outside of your house than I am. So, family for me outside of my house, I probably see them once a year. Yeah, you know what I mean. You may see them much more than that. So,
and
you
have someone who
a deeper
text like, "Hey, how you doing?" Call, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah,
I don't text, "Hey, how you doing?" To and I should because life is short. But I don't know, just getting so focused and drilled in sometimes.
Sometimes I wonder if that plays a part because I've pulled back. Since I've become the person I am now, and I've been changing over the past few years, I've actually pulled back on this.
Right.
I've pulled back in being that guy who, used to call these people and make them feel comfortable, all this other stuff because I don't have time anymore.
Well, yeah, definitely. You gotta be selfish with your time, selfish with yourself. So yeah, a lot of people always say a text takes 2 seconds. Yeah. But yeah, I'm conflicted on that one.
Yeah.
I should reach out to family.
Right. The way you said that was so funny.
No, it's true.
He's like, I should reach out.
No, it's true. A text does take 2 seconds. But,
yeah. It's interesting.
We get caught up in the grind.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely do.
To my family, hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know how it is, man.
You are absolutely funny, my man. Excellent. You have any questions for me before I move on to our final question?
Wow. Let me see here. Okay, so like I remember you said, when people, produce envy or jealousy, do you think they can heal from that and recover and get their confidence back where they're not comparing, or do you think this is a personality trait?
That's a really good question, Mark. That's a very good question. I think certain, having gone through it myself,
right?
I think certain modes of jealousy, envy, or hate, I think certain forms of it is circumstantial for certain people.
Yeah.
Such as myself, damn, man, I've been putting in all this work. I've been showing it to people, acting yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then it's now when you have nothing to show for it, you kind of hide your bush between your tail. Dang, I feel embarrassed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. I get that.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yes, I do think that it differs. I think that's what it was for me. I think it was I was working so hard and I wanted a return on investment. And come on, man, you've known me pretty well for a long time. Even the 2-3 years we weren't speaking, I'm sure you said to yourself a bunch of times, I know Kev's educated, I know he's smart, and I know he's starting to put out these books and it's great, but I think this dude is oversharing, man. He's putting all this stuff out there, whatnot.
Nah.
No?
I don't.
Because now looking back at it, I feel that way. I feel as if I was oversharing. I feel as if I don't know if it was coming from a youth mentality, a youth perspective of me being so young, 22, 23, and you brought something up to me one time when we were talking about, your past when you were working for the Nets and all this other stuff. I think a lot of it too was, and I think Danielle mentioned this to me too, I had a chip on my shoulder. I was trying to prove to the world that I could do it since my dad died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my father died and I wanted to like fill a void and show that, you know.
Like you said, you're trying to prove a point. You're locked in, you're drilled in, and it's not working at that moment. So it's just like, yo, it's easy for this person, it's easy for this person. Mark's out here acting a fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these people think it's a game.
Right. And it's working for them. And my dad just told me to go to school, get my bachelor's, and then, hey, y'all, go back for your master's.
If somebody gives me instructions that if you play by this rule book, you'll be successful, and I play and I lose, I mean, what else can you feel but that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't play by the rules, so I mean, I'm like, okay, if I win, I win.
Yeah, you just living your life.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying.
So for me at the time, it was hard for me, man. I think, and there are people like that, I'm sure, who work hard, and that's dangerous too, because circumstantial hate and jealousy, it can mess with you in such a way in which you might not know how to get out of that and how to pull back from it. Meaning that, let's say someone like myself, right? Even now, you know, to a certain extent, as much as you trust me and you love me, you always gotta say, well, Kevin showed that pang of jealousy just with us. I always gotta kind of watch him, because what happens is, let's say, there's another guy who I love as much as I love you, right? And he's a friend of mine and he's doing well, and I've been grinding for 15, 18 years, and Flower Concrete, or whatever, still hasn't popped off, and then his thing pops off in 6. It's like, I see that pang of jealousy, even though you're a great guy, coming back once again. Yeah. Here it is, man.
No, that's a fact though, because once you show that side is present.
It's present.
You say, wow, this Kev guy, you never know.
Yeah.
Let's say my thing popped off and yours, went to 0. Mm-hmm. Will the jealousy arise?
That's a great question,
will the resentment? Yeah,
that's a great question.
But it would be natural human emotion to be like, like angry, not angry, but you're gonna compare and say, what the hell, man? And that can create a lot of different emotions. Yeah. So it's true. I mean, one can question things like that once someone shows that they're capable of those thoughts.
That's absolutely true. You've shown it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So definitely, it makes a lot of sense.
And then to answer the second part of your question, or the part that was attached to it, there are those folks too. I'm sure you know them too, that are so toxic and you just can't hang around them because they're always talking down upon you because they're jealous of you. Like, oh, you think you're better than us because you got a degree. You think you're better than us because you're doing crypto. Or you think you're better than us and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, why don't you just work on yourself? Why don't you just work on yourself? And then these people, you'll see them 10, 15, 20 years later down the line, and they're still pessimistic. They're still not active. They're still not doing something for themselves.
Well, that's true. I mean, someone's got to be the sacrificial lamb. And it goes in stages. It doesn't always go from 0 to 100. Sometimes in certain generations, certain families or family units or family, situations.
I'm sorry. I know this is a live episode. I know that we're recording, but you want to just check to see if Dre's okay?
I think she dropped some nail polish.
Okay.
Yeah, she would have yelled out.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah.
I remember the sound clearly.
That's for sure. Okay.
Yeah, she's good.
That's fine.
But yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
Now I was just saying about the longevity of people being pessimistic and being.
Because someone's got to be the sacrificial lamb in some instances. Yeah. Because, in other words, that could have been our parents, right? Yeah. Or their parents. Right. Someone had to work a job they didn't like for their kids to elevate. Mm-hmm. And then their kids may have to do something they don't like for their kids to elevate. Yeah. And then eventually on that family tree, there'll be financial freedom where there is not much sacrifice. And when I say the sacrifice, I'm mainly gearing towards emotional sacrifice. You know, hate this job. I hate this business. I hate this. Because you can have a business that's making money, but you may hate it. Right. So it sometimes it takes a while. So while that person is sacrificing, they're not going to be doing it with a smile all the time. So they may be angry. It's true. MTA is great, but I hear a lot of people hate it.
That's very true.
Yeah, but they're making money doing what they got to do to make sure their kids are good, make sure their kids, can have more freedom in the choices that they want to choose for, for their career. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah, man.
That's the thing. It goes back to that. Every situation is different. Yeah. And when someone's angry, they usually have a reason to be.
Absolutely.
So
damn, that's real.
Sometimes you got to let somebody be mad.
That's very true.
Like when you said you were jealous of the brother at BET.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, jealousy is a terrible emotion, but did you have a reason to be mad? Yeah. You know, if there's other people in your situation, would they be mad? Maybe. So it all depends on the personality sometimes.
Yeah, man. It was, and honestly, I really didn't. Again, I didn't, I didn't curse him and wish bad upon him and hope that his position got taken away from him. It's like, man, if he's prospering, why can't I prosper? Because at that time, I think I had already worked there for like 4 or 5 months. And I was like, man, how come I can't find a job? And I've been doing all this work. And I tried to stay positive. And after a while, I think going back to school for my master's kind of just like distracted me and kept me not thinking about that so much.
That's the thing. Distracted.
Yeah.
It's like, everything's not working. I'm gonna go back to school, so it feels like I'm doing a good thing.
Yeah, man.
It's like, that's a difficult game to play.
Right.
No, I mean, you're playing with leverage. Not you, because you didn't go deeply into student loan debt, but someone that actually is going into debt.
Yeah.
Now they're in school racking up debt to satisfy their emotional well-being, and they're not being strategic.
Right.
So a lot of people are in school just because it looks nice and makes their heart feel good that they're busy, but Gordon Ramsay, I don't know if you guys watched the Chef Ramsay show.
I've heard about it.
He had something called a busy idiot. Where you're busy doing a lot, but you're going nowhere.
Wow.
You're sitting there, you're stagnant, but you're doing a lot. You're a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah.
You feel good. I'm getting tired, man. I'm doing so much work. But you get off the wheel and you say, I made no money.
Yeah. Wow.
And a lot of people get off that college degree wheel and they realize
really true
they were running nowhere.
Yeah, very true.
And they get off in the same spot that they were, and then they say, I'm gonna go for a city job.
Yeah.
What was the point?
Absolutely.
It's tough.
It is tough. Shout out to the folks who just joined us. I know we haven't been doing a good job of interacting with y'all as of late, but shout out to Divinarasta, all right, Divinarasta, and as well as I want to make sure I get it right. Katina to Katina, right? Yeah, Katina to Katina. All right. Yeah, I like to put my little flavor in it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So basically, we're talking about if you're just now tuning in, Mark and I are talking about for this episode, which is a live recording and is also a taped recording of the podcast. We're talking about the art of hate and how we have people in our lives that hate on us and that are very, how do I say this? Very spiteful or very envious of us in regards to what we have. So have you ever, so for those of you tuning in, have you ever had a friend that has been, jealous of you? When it comes to friends / loved ones, what creates the feelings of jealousy or hate? And I was just explaining to Mark a few years ago when I was a graduate of Brooklyn College in New York City, and I graduated with my English degree. I was looking for a job in publishing and I couldn't get one. So my friend at the time, who was waiting on his aunt to work on his resume, had another friend who worked at a radio station hook him up with a paid internship at BT. And I was so envious and so spiteful. Again, he was a really close friend of mine and still is a very close friend of mine to this day. And I wasn't mad at him again because, he got the job, but it was just like, dang, what am I doing? How am I progressing if this guy's doing well and he hasn't really put much into it? I was like, should I not put much into it anymore? Like, is that how it works? Like, I was just trying to figure out the process, because my dad told me to go to school and everything will work out on its own hind. And that wasn't the case. So, it's just crazy, man. And like I told you, and you just pretty much responded to me, I went back to school because I was like, I need to at least, when people come up to me, hey, Kev, what's going on? What are you doing? Imagine if I just said to them, I'm an office assistant making $11 an hour, but you got your bachelor's degree, right? So imagine how I thought it looked if people said, hey, Kev, what's going on? I'm working part-time at an office, just filing paperwork, but I'm also going for my master's. Like, to the side, like, wow, he's going for his master's degree.
Yeah, but only poor people are impressed by that. That's the problem.
That's true.
You're trying to impress poor people.
That's very true indeed.
Oh man, I got to make sure the poor people think I'm doing good.
Yeah.
And when I say poor, I'm not saying, of a specific income. I'm really stating 70% of the general population.
Yeah.
Because 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved. That means I'm not taking advice from 70% of the people I meet.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
I have why am I impressing?
Yeah.
Why am I trying to impress, man?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's interesting, man, because I bro, I went through it. I stayed at Queensboro for another 2 years after that. So I technically worked there for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, until I moved to Connecticut. I worked there for another 2-3 years in the same position, and I was like, damn it, man, no one ever hired me, and it never worked out.
I mean, hey, man, sometimes you go to the casino and win, and sometimes you don't. You just got to take it, you know, and just keep pushing. I'm not saying to gamble, but I'm just saying in terms of nothing is guaranteed with investing, and a college degree is an investment,
right? And
if the return doesn't come, it's just like, okay, now I got to try to think outside the box,
right? But
in the end, man, you got your footing and excelled. So it's just a journey, man.
It is. And I don't want to keep us too long because I see it's nearing towards 9:00, and I gotta go home and see my mama, man. I haven't seen her in a while, bro.
For sure.
But so I just wanted to bring up another point, if you don't mind, ask you this final question, and then hit the folks that are tuning in with the word to the wise segment.
Right.
I was going to say, it's interesting though, because now that I think about it, I think about the whole situation with my friend and how it worked out.
Right.
He actually ended up staying at BT longer than he would have thought because they held on to him longer for the internship.
Right.
But eventually the internship was fading out. And after that, man, he went on. We did a complete 180. I ended up graduating with my master's, moving to Connecticut, and became a teacher. And from that point on, was pretty much full-time employed. Him, on the other hand, he hasn't worked in the field since because his degree and his background was in television and film. From there, he moved to Texas, and he was bouncing around, working at like the movie theaters and a whole bunch of different other places. And pretty much to this day, man, is still trying to figure it out and get it all together. And I'm not happy about that. Like I won and you did it, or it's just like, man, it's crazy how things can just flip on its head.
But here's the thing: you seem to have kept up with his timeline. No one should be that invested in someone else's success or their decline. You know what I mean? I'm just like, for me, I guess I'm different, but I don't attempt to gather details or information about people's lives. I know social media pretty much puts it out there, but you seem to be in tune with other people's lives.
Well, I'll tell you why. Yeah. Does it make a difference though if they call you every week, 2 weeks to talk to you and give you updates about their lives? Like, does that make a difference as to why I know it?
Well, then again, that's different.
Because
also when the jealousy arises.
So I'll put it to you this way. Once I went to Connecticut, he went about his way, moved to Texas, did his thing. Right. I'm not saying I don't try to talk to him because that's my boy, man. I love him. I always, he's in my life,
Right.
But I'd be fine going a month or 2 months not talking to him. But a couple of friends that I have like that will intentionally reach out to me every 2 weeks to talk to me, to get an update from me and want to see how I'm doing and tell me how they're doing.
Right. Oh,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I can see that's different.
It's like I'm trying to focus on my own thing and go my own separate way, do what I got to do. But they're like, Kevin, we got to talk. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
So people are like that?
I guess I have those friends.
Oh, wow.
No, yeah. Yeah, and and it's so crazy because you're my best friend, and I consider you my best mate, and you're the only friend that we'll text here and there, but like I won't try to call you every week to talk because like I'm doing what I got, I'm grinding. Right, exactly. Same for you, grinding. Yeah, exactly. But no, I have about a good 2-3 close friends that are like after you, like they're like my other cool guys. Every 2-3 weeks, for the most part, and I'm not trying to say this to like shit on them or whatever, but they have to call me. They'll call me to have a conversation.
I mean that's
and I say that to say, and I say that like I'm not trying to like protect myself or anything, but I'm saying that that's how I'm so invested and I know what's going on.
Right.
Because they hit me up and let me know.
That's the thing, man. I mean that's a time investment, though.
Yeah.
That's a time. You consciously invested your time to hear someone else's drama. So whether you say it was whether you wanted to or not, you did invest in that information. Those weekly calls of negative information.
Right.
That's not a call I need.
Right. You probably would just
no. At the end of the day, I mean, granted, you can be there for your friends, but to a point where it's a weekly diary, I don't know about that. I mean, for me, you know what I mean. Like,
I respect it.
Like,
I respect it.
It's just like what the
Yeah. Shout out to Callaway. All right. Shout out to Callaway for joining in. And shout out to ASAP 02021. This episode, Mark and I, we've been talking about the art of hate. We're pretty much on the opposing side of the episode. We're about to close it out real soon. Just kind of close it out. But it makes me it leads me to wonder. Before I even say that, if you have any comments, thoughts, feedback, please be sure to pitch in. And again, one question we've asked before we move on to the final question, we've asked have you ever had friends or loved ones that created feelings of jealousy or hate in regards to what you were doing in your life? Has that ever happened? If you do know of anyone who's gone through that, or you yourself, you've gone through that personally, please be sure to comment, in the section, and we'll get back to you. Me and Mark will respond right away on your thoughts. It's interesting, and the reason why I bring all that stuff up with that friend, and also another friend that I have, now where I see myself in my life right now, I'm focused on me. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder if those two friends, if they ever get jealous of me now in regards to where I'm at.
Hey man, it doesn't even matter.
Just focus on what you got going on.
Yeah, because now you're speculating on someone's thoughts, and that's way too much investment in something that may not even be true.
Right.
So it's a waste of thought.
I will say this though. Call it what you want, whether it's hate, jealousy, whatever. But we don't talk often, and I speak to these people often.
Right.
But whenever we speak, you're more invested.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
You're more invested. You're more invested into my thoughts, my dreams, and what I got going on than these other folks.
I got you.
Meaning that, like you said, like it'll be my fault, right?
If I. No, I'm good.
No, we're not. No worries.
Appreciate
so
it.
like.
My boyfriend and his friend.
I met downstairs.
Yeah, we met downstairs.
Yeah,
that was good.
So it's interesting because like how do I say this? You are.
Your speaker's there?
Yeah, my speaker's on.
I lost my train of thought. No, so so I don't talk to you often.
Right.
But you're the only friend that is fully invested in terms of what I got going on, and I'm fully invested into what you got going on.
I feel you.
Right?
On that.
But again, it's just like I wish that these other people had stuff going on so I could praise them or whatever. But guess what? It's just all about the drama. It's just all about the drama.
That's when it gets too negative, man.
You know what I'm saying? So it leads me to wonder. Again, it's all about the drama. So it leads me to wonder, like you said, like I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have those thoughts or feelings. Like,
I mean, no. You can never say you shouldn't have.
Right. But it's just like, I might not even bring something up to you, and then you'll be like, "Oh, Kev, like, you'll say, yo, I see what you're doing, blah blah, good job, whatever." But they'll see it. I think maybe I don't know. I don't care, but they won't say anything. But they'll talk about every other thing, and it's just like, yo, I just want to be invested in what I got going on, and I want to praise you.
Well, I mean, you really shouldn't have to. I mean, if it's there, you bring it up, but you can't really force that.
So you can't find things to praise your friends about.
I mean, that sounds like
to
pity.
make them feel better.
That sounds like pity.
Yeah,
let me
that
find something.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I try. Out of pity, I try to champion them, and then whenever they try to talk about me, hey, what do you got going on? I'm like, oh no, let's talk about you, man. Yeah, you're dope, man. You're dope, man. Yeah.
Toxic. That's a little toxic.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
No, I mean, it's just too much going on, man. Too much investment in someone else's emotions. In a sense.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So last question, man. How can people go about coming to terms with those that hate them and find a solution? I mean, if there's hate. I mean, or how can people, or maybe I should word this way, how can people go about coming to terms with dealing with hate, or just not even, thinking about it on whether that person probably hates them at all?
There's no real coming to terms. I mean, you just got to focus on yourself. You know, it's like if you think someone's hating you, I mean, why are you, well, first of all, why are you surrounding yourself with people that hate you? Or
True.
If you even think someone hates you, I don't understand why someone would hang out with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I agree.
So that's like I really wouldn't even know why someone would keep that around.
I agree, man. I think we touched about everything we needed to talk about for this.
It's about everything.
It's about
sure.
everything. Word to the wise. You want me to go first, or you want to?
Yeah, you can take a word to the wise for today.
My word to the wise, to the wise community out there, man, would be the word focus. Just focus on yourself, man. And I actually got this from you, man. We had this conversation back and forth in one of our heated battles, on text. And you were like, yo, that's the thing, Kev. You worry about too much what other people think. You need to focus on yourself. Yeah. And since that, man, I think that was like 4 months ago, I've been constantly trying to reassure myself, like, yo, Kev, you're dope. Just focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, and you'll continue to see steady progress.
Yeah, man. So, that's the therapy. Self motivation, just being aware of the distraction and blocking it out.
Blocking it out.
Definitely, I agree with that.
So that's it, man. My word to the wise today would just be focus. Stay focused on yourself and keep doing what you need to do in order to make progress. Because in 5, 10, 15 years, if you look back in hindsight, you will never make progress if you're focused on what other people got going on.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's how I absolutely feel. What's your word to the wise?
Man, I would say just ignore. I mean, you have to realize what's toxic and what's not. A lot of people are kind of consumed with technology to the point where they lose touch with the reality.
Right.
They think people's Instagram pages are their reality.
Yeah.
But if you really look at it, that's someone's highlight reel. It's not their reality.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to watch what you consume, because you can be feeling depressed, like, oh, why am I so depressed? You don't realize you're watching people's lives on Instagram and comparing it.
Right.
So you've got to eliminate that.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely, I thoroughly agree, man.
Yep.
Any other final words before I close this out, man?
I think we hit it.
Definitely. First thing first, I want to thank all of our guests who have been tuning in. All right. Hero Marion7, shout out to you. I know you pretty much joined in at the last minute, I think, but we thank you. Callaway, ASAP 02021, Catalina to Catalina, Thrillin Vanilla 2, all those folks. Thank you guys for joining in. Even though, I don't know, man, I kind of feel like even with the word, maybe next time it'll happen, but with a live Yearning for Wisdom, it didn't happen. But hopefully next time people will throw some questions out.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll engage a bit more, get into it with the comments and everything.
Absolutely. So the Wise Guys podcast, man, before we close out, please, ladies and gents, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Anchor, our host site. Check out our website, www.floweredconcrete.net/The Wise Guys Podcast. You can pretty much find our RSS feed there and find different ways to get in touch with us from there.
Sounds good.
And next week's episode 15, is called Bet on Yourself. We're bringing in this really, really cool guy by the name of Franzi Lusencourt. All right. He's currently a student at Baruch College and he's about to graduate and he's doing great, great big things. You actually won't be a part of that episode because you got some things that you got going on, unfortunately.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's gonna be a really, really good one.
I know you hold it down.
Absolutely, man. For sure. And so we recently changed our socials real quick. So you want to drop those real quick before we go?
Yeah, definitely.
Mine's recently changed to Kevin Anglade 11. So that's KevinAnglade 11. Just all one word. All right. No case sensitive. And what about yourself?
It's Mark Pruden.
_
Yeah, but once you type in Mark Pruden, it comes right.
That's pretty slick, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty slick.
Definitely.
So that's it, ladies and gents of the Wise Community. That's our episode for this week. Again, find us online, keep following us, and keep supporting us, all right?
Absolutely.
So, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, this is your boy, Kevin Anglade.
Mark Pruden.
And we are the Wise Guys Podcast. We'll see you all next week.
Stay wise.